Do you remember the incredible story of a 19-year-old girl who defied all odds and adopted 6 children, changing their lives forever? Have you ever wondered how they're living today? Did they manage to overcome the challenges and build the family of their dreams? We're about to reveal what happened to this brave young woman and the children she embraced with so much love. Get ready for a journey filled with twists, moments of triumph, and a powerful lesson about what it truly means to be a family. So, settle in and join us for a story that will warm your heart and maybe even bring a few tears. Let's begin. The decision of a 19-year-old girl to adopt her 6 siblings shocked the world. Years later, their transformation left everyone speechless. From an apparently impossible struggle to extraordinary triumph, this is the story of how love and determination reshaped the destiny of one family. The loud knock on the door shattered the silence of the small house. Christina Fenko, then just 19, felt her heart stop for a moment. When she opened the door, she was met by 2 officers with somber faces. The weight of their words was crushing. A tragic accident had claimed her parents' lives. Christina's world fell apart in that instant, but there was no time for grief. The words that followed hit her like a physical blow. "We need to discuss arrangements for your younger siblings." The implication was clear. Without their parents, the children would be placed in foster care. Christina looked inside the house. Her 6 younger siblings were huddled together, their faces pale, their wide eyes filled with fear. In that moment, something changed within her. Her sorrow was replaced by fierce determination. "No," she said, her voice surprisingly firm. "They will stay with me." The officers exchanged skeptical glances. "Miss, you're just a young woman yourself. Raising 6 children is no easy task." But Christina stood her ground, her words filled with conviction. "They're my family. I'll find a way." And so, while her peers were starting college or their first jobs, Christina faced the monumental task of becoming a mother to 6 children overnight. In the days that followed, her life became a whirlwind. Between the paperwork, the mourning, and the decisions that would shape their futures, Christina found herself sitting in a stuffy office at the Department of Child Services. Across the desk, the social worker, Mrs. Petrova, wore a serious expression. "Miss Fenko," she began in a measured tone, "we understand your desire to keep your family together, but we have serious concerns about your ability to care for such a large family at your age." Christina's voice quavered slightly, but she didn't waver. "I know I'm young, Mrs. Petrova, but these are my brothers and sisters. We've already lost our parents. I can't bear the thought of losing each other too." She took a deep breath before continuing. "I left school in Chobin and returned to our hometown, Elizabeth. I'm learning how to manage the household, and I'm committed to giving them the best life possible." For a moment, Mrs. Petrova's expression softened. "Your dedication is admirable, Christina. But raising 6 children is no easy task. The house needs repairs. There's no central heating. And how do you plan to secure a stable income?" Christina leaned forward, her eyes blazing with fierce determination. "I have a plan. The local authorities have promised to help with house repairs and heating. We have a small garden and a few animals to help with food. I'm looking for work I can do from home while taking care of the younger ones." The room fell silent as Mrs. Petrova observed her. After what felt like an eternity, she closed the file in front of her. "Very well, Miss Fenko. We'll give you a chance. You'll be placed on a probationary period as their guardian," Mrs. Petrova said firmly. "But understand that we'll be watching closely. Any sign that the children's needs aren't being met, and we'll have to reconsider." A wave of overwhelming relief washed over Christina, like a giant tide finally reaching her after days adrift. "Thank you," she whispered, tears burning her eyes. "I won't let you down. I won't let them down." As part of the guardianship agreement, Christina received initial financial support, about 70,000 rubles and a survivor's pension for each child. Though it wasn't much, it was a start. But Christina made a decision that spoke volumes about her character and commitment. The pension money would remain untouched, saved securely for her siblings' future. This meant she had to be resourceful, stretching every ruble as far as it could go. As she left social services that day, Christina's mind was already racing with plans. The following weeks were a whirlwind of activity. She dove headfirst into her new role, tackling the challenges with a determination that even surprised herself. Her number one priority was preparing the house for the harsh winter. True to their promise, the local authorities stepped in to help with the most urgent repairs. They fixed the leaking roof, insulated the windows, and ensured the heating system was working properly. Seeing the repairs completed brought immense relief to Christina. It meant she could focus her limited resources on other necessities. With the tight budget, she made every penny count. She bought warm clothing for her siblings, durable, practical items that could be reused over the years. She stocked up on bulk food items, learning to prepare healthy, affordable meals that could sustain 7 people without exceeding the budget. Her creativity flourished. Christina became an expert at domestic tasks, from sewing clothes to repairing broken household items. Although the challenges were immense, there were moments of joy. As news of her situation spread throughout the village, a spirit of solidarity began to emerge. Neighbors showed up with steaming casseroles and used clothing. The local grocer, aware of Christina's struggles, often added extra items to her bags, refusing any additional payment. These small acts of kindness lightened Christina's burden and reminded her that she wasn't alone. One cold Saturday morning, Christina stood in the yard, adjusting her younger siblings' coats before letting them play in the snow. Her mind was already working on the next steps. The initial funds were running out, and she knew she needed to find sustainable solutions to support her family. As she watched her siblings laughing and playing, a gentle smile lit up her face. They were together. No matter how challenging the road ahead, she had a promise to keep, to ensure they never lost this joy or the comfort of knowing they had each other. One morning, a knock at the door made Christina's heart race. When she opened it, she found Mrs. Petrova, whose warm expression eased her nerves slightly. "I came to see how you're doing," the social worker said, glancing around the house. She noticed the freshly painted walls, the neatly made beds, and the impeccable organization Christina maintained. Finally, Petrova smiled. "You've done very well, Christina," she said softly. "Your parents would be proud." Those words meant more to Christina than any formal approval could. But life, as always, had more challenges in store. As winter brought howling winds and heavy snow, the house's old boiler finally gave out. Christina woke one freezing morning to find the house ice cold, her breath visible in the air. Panic set in. How would she keep the children warm? Buying a new boiler was completely out of the question. With trembling fingers, she dialed the number of the local repair shop. The owner, Ivan, known for being gruff but kind-hearted, listened patiently as Christina explained her situation. "I'll be there in an hour," he promised. "We'll figure something out." True to his word, Ivan arrived with his tools and a determined attitude. He worked tirelessly, coaxing the old boiler back to life. After hours of labor, he sighed, wiping his hands. "It won't last forever," he warned, "but it should get you through the winter. In the spring, we'll look at a permanent solution." Christina's eyes filled with tears. "I don't know how to thank you," she said, her voice heavy with gratitude. Ivan shook his head. "You're doing something brave, girl, taking care of these little ones. It's the least I can do to help." When the boiler finally hummed back to life and warmth slowly returned to the house, Christina felt a weight lift from her shoulders. But the relief was short-lived. A few days later, she stumbled upon a post in a local social media group. Someone, claiming to know her, was making cruel accusations. They alleged that she frequented nightclubs and regularly neglected her siblings. Every word felt like a physical blow. How could anyone think this of her? The situation escalated when Sana Pushkarskaya, the head of the Department of Guardianship and Custody, joined the discussion publicly. In the comments, she accused Christina of ignoring the requirements of child services, referencing unspecified complaints. If Christina does not change her attitude toward the children and her responsibilities, Pushkarskaya wrote, the issue of removing the children will arise. The claim that Christina had refused to send the children to a summer camp, a supposed offer to give her a break, felt particularly unfair. Hurt and anger threatened to overwhelm her, but Christina took a deep breath. She reminded herself that she was an example for her siblings. Instead of retaliating, she responded calmly and sincerely. "There's not a shred of truth in this post," she began. "My siblings are clothed, fed, and have everything they need. Whoever wrote this probably did so out of envy, but I don't understand what there is to envy. I do my nails and lashes with friends, something that's inexpensive and often done by myself. It does not affect the care I give to my siblings. They are my priority." Her dignity and honesty resonated with many, but Christina knew she couldn't control people's perceptions. Still, within her home, her siblings knew the truth, and that was all that mattered. 7 years later, the Yevtushenko family not only survived but thrived in ways no one could have imagined. What began as an act of courage and unwavering love transformed into a story of growth and impact, touching not just the siblings but the entire community around them. The siblings were now teenagers and young adults. Nikolai, a talented musician, had started teaching violin to local children, inspired by how Christina had sacrificed so much to give him a chance. Anya, the budding artist, had her paintings displayed in regional galleries, with each piece telling a part of the family's journey. The younger siblings, who had grown up under Christina's fierce protection and love, now gave back by helping with household responsibilities and pursuing their own ambitions. Christina herself had achieved what once seemed impossible. In addition to her career as a teacher, she was completing an advanced degree in education with plans to open a community center. The center would provide emotional, educational, and practical support to families in need. "I want others to have the same chance we did," she said one day while showing sketches of the project to a friend. A defining moment occurred during a civic ceremony in the village. Christina was invited to receive an award recognizing her dedication to her family and the community. As she walked onto the stage, the applause came not just from neighbors but also from local officials and children she had inspired. "Accepting the award," she said, "this recognition isn't just mine. It belongs to everyone who supported us when we needed it most, every neighbor who brought us a meal, every word of encouragement. And it belongs to my siblings, who never stopped dreaming, even when it seemed impossible. We are proof that with love and determination, any obstacle can be overcome." Over the years, Christina and her siblings continued to strengthen the bonds that held them together. The house that was once a simple dwelling became a gathering place for friends, neighbors, and young people seeking inspiration. They organized community dinners, cultural events, and workshops, sharing their experiences to motivate others to never give up. Christina's impact extended beyond her immediate family. Her siblings, inspired by her example, began building their own lives while staying close to the home that had united them. Her decision to fight for them resonated across generations, planting seeds of kindness and resilience that would continue to bloom. Years later, when Christina became a grandmother, one of her granddaughters asked, "Grandma, is it true that you took care of all your siblings by yourself?" Christina smiled, pulling out an old family photo taken during the early years of her journey. "I wasn't alone," she said, her eyes welling with tears. "We had each other. And that was all we needed." Looking to the future, Christina knew her story was about more than sacrifice. It was about hope, the power of love, and the importance of believing that even in the darkest moments, something beautiful can emerge. And you? What do you think gives us the strength to face life's toughest challenges? Do you know someone whose resilience and love have changed lives? Share your story in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tales like this one, showing how human connection can transform the world.